Chapter 1. The Flashy Man on the Hill. In the city of Greenwood, everyone knew Mr. Richards. He drove a red Lamborghini, lived in a mansion with marble floors, and threw extravagant parties every weekend. But what they didn't see was the stress behind the scenes. Richards lived paycheck to paycheck, except his paycheck was massive. The cars were leased, the house heavily mortgaged, and one bad year in business could ruin it all. Chapter 2. The Quiet Lady. Next door, just a few blocks away, lived Mrs. Elira Wells. No one really noticed her. She drove an old Honda, dressed modestly, and spent her afternoons reading in her backyard garden. She owned multiple rental properties, stocks that quietly paid her every quarter, and a business she didn't even need to run anymore. She had time, freedom, and security, things money alone can't buy. Her wealth worked for her, even when she slept. Jordan couldn't stop thinking about Mr. Richards and Elira. One lived in a mansion, drove luxury cars, and always seemed to be chasing the next big deal. The other lived simply but owned more than he could imagine. Walking with Elira in her garden one afternoon, Jordan gathered his courage. "I have to ask, what's the real difference between being rich and being wealthy?" Elira smiled, picking a ripe tomato from her vine. "You know, Jordan, many people chase being rich their whole lives. They want the fancy cars, the big house, the expensive clothes. But being wealthy, that's different. Being wealthy means you own things that work for you, even when you're not working. It's about building something that lasts, not just earning a big paycheck." Her words made him see both lives in a completely new light. Elira's garden was more than just a place of blooming flowers. It became my classroom for life's most valuable lessons. I'll never forget that summer afternoon when she looked at me and said, "Jordan, let me tell you something that took me years to understand. The rich look rich, but the wealthy live free." She taught me about growing money like she grew her plants, patiently, consistently, with care and attention. Assets, compound interest, passive income, these weren't just fancy terms, they were seeds of financial freedom. I took her wisdom to heart. While my friends chased designer labels and luxury cars, I was quietly planting my own garden of wealth, buying stocks, building a small business, saving more than I spent. It wasn't glamorous, but like Elira's garden, it grew steadily, surely. And you know what? Soon enough, I wasn't just rich on paper, I was becoming truly wealthy. Free. Just like Elira said I could be.
Enjoying the video, correct? Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Please leave your feedback, hit like, share the content.
Years passed, and life had a funny way of teaching its lessons. Mr. Richards, once the symbol of success in Jordan's eyes, lost almost everything in a bad business deal. The fancy cars gone, that massive house sold, but Jordan, his story took a different turn. While others chased the appearance of wealth, he'd built the real thing. No mortgage weighing him down, a home he could truly call his own. He helped his parents retire comfortably, flew to places he'd only dreamed of, and still watched his savings grow. Sometimes at coffee shops, people would ask him his secret, just like they used to ask Elira. And just like her, he'd smile, knowing the answer was so simple yet so profound. I stopped trying to look rich and started building wealth. Life had come full circle, and Jordan finally understood what true prosperity meant.